And today I'm going to be talking about the thyroid and thyroid health, and specifically with its relation to minerals. Now, there's lots of things that can go wrong with the thyroid, and I'm really focusing on underactive or suboptimal thyroid function today because that's the most common thing that I see with clients. There are other things that can go wrong with the thyroid, hyperactive thyroid, which is an overactive thyroid, for example. But today I'm just really talking about that suboptimal or even underactive hypothyroidism. So let's first of all by just talk very quickly about what the thyroid is. The thyroid is a system, but there is a gland as part of it, which is a little butterfly shaped gland here in the neck. It's part of the endocrine system, and it's a very, very important system, the thyroid system. It sets our metabolic pace. Almost every cell in the body has thyroid receptors, and so there's really no body function that isn't affected by the thyroid. So it is super, super important. And there are so many women walking around with suboptimal thyroid function, completely missed by GPs or undiagnosed, or they haven't even gone to the GP and been tested. But even if they did, they may not get a diagnosis, because in order to get a diagnosis for hypothyroidism, you need to have a TSH level that is out of the medical ranges. They don't use optimal ranges, they use very broad ranges. So unless you are at a very advanced stage, you probably won't be picked up. So what does the thyroid do? When the thyroid is underactive, you'll notice it because everything in the body slows down, everything. And that includes digestion. So you might notice bloating, dysbiosis. You might not know that it's dysbiosis, but you can get an overgrowth of bacteria in the gut, which causes an imbalance of your good, friendly commensal bacteria and the ones that we don't want so much of. We can get indigestion, we can have trouble with producing stomach acid. Lots of things can go wrong with the gut. Liver as well can be affected, which in turn can affect hormones, and also our ability to detox and get rid of toxic elements, chemicals, etc. And glucose uptake can also slow down. So the whole blood sugar system can be affected as well. And so that can really impact on our ability to control our blood sugar. Weight obviously becomes an issue for women who are struggling with a thyroid problem. And yeah, everything in the body is just basically slowing right down. So other symptoms you might notice are feeling cold. You might have cold hands, cold feet when you shouldn't have, low energy, feeling fatigued, not able to get going. Some people describe it as moving through sludge. You moving through treacle. You just can't seem to muster the energy. Motivation goes, lack of mojo, mood issues, brain fog, loss of hair, dry skin, loads of different symptoms. So what is it that causes thyroid issues? The thyroid, so everybody often thinks that the thyroid is just about the thyroid gland and whether you're producing enough thyroid hormone. But as I said at the start, it's a system. You can be producing plenty of thyroid hormone, but that things can go wrong further down the chain. So if you can't convert your thyroid hormone, so the thyroid hormone that we produce from the thyroid is called T4, it's thyroxine. That's the predominant. We produce a little bit of T3, but mostly T4. T4 is a storage form of the hormone. You can't actually use it. That can't be used. It can't latch onto thyroid receptors in the cells. So it has to be converted to T3. And in order to do that, lots of things need to be in place. So that can be broken. But also at a cellular level, it can be really hard for the thyroid hormone to actually get into the cells. And there's a number of reasons for that. Firstly, it can be because we have too much tissue calcium. Calcium blocks thyroid hormone getting into the cells. Potassium, if we don't have enough potassium in our cells, we can't pull thyroid hormone into the cells. So really important, those two minerals, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. We can have conversion issues, as I said. So if you can't convert properly, we can have a marker called reverse T3, RT3. When that's raised, it's an indicator. It's basically the body putting on the brakes and stopping you from producing enough T3. So that is often caused by toxicity, inflammation. So, you know, and you wouldn't know that unless you did a full blood panel. The NHS don't do it. And then there's minerals. As I said, there's the two minerals, calcium and potassium, but also there's other minerals that are really important for thyroid health. So, selenium helps to stimulate creation of thyroid hormones, and it helps the conversion of T4 to T3. Sodium transports iodide into thyroid cells in order to make thyroid hormones. So sodium's really important. Copper stimulates production of T4 and supports energy production. Iron helps to convert T4 to T3. Iodine is required for thyroid, for the thyroid to actually produce thyroid hormones. Thyroid hormone is made up of 4 iodine molecules. We can't produce it. We can't produce iodine in the body. It has to come from diet, and most of us are lacking it. So some of the things that can impact the thyroid and the thyroid system is stress. Excuse me. Stress is a massive one. Long-term chronic stress, you know, not your short-term stressors, but long-term. If somebody's been stressed over a long period of time, trauma is another one that can really affect the thyroid system. Not eating enough. If you've been dieting for years, you can really affect your thyroid system. That's very common with women. Irregular eating patterns as well, you know, massive intermittent fasting when your body's not strong enough, that's really not good for the thyroid. Toxicity, heavy metal toxicity, chemical toxicity. If the body feels like it's in danger, then it will downregulate, and part of the downregulation will be thyroid and thyroid system, because the body wants to slow you down to stop you from being able to cause yourself any further damage. And inflammation, which kind of goes hand in hand with stress and toxicity and everything else. And of course, minerals. If you're lacking specific minerals which are needed for thyroid hormone to be produced, then you're going to be affected by whichever minerals are lacking. And you're not going to know that unless you test. And as I keep saying, you can't just go and take loads of individual minerals, because you'll push other minerals out of whack. If you want to focus on minerals, which everybody should be doing, you have to test and then supplement exactly accordingly to what you actually need, with all the cofactor vitamins and minerals and other nutrients that are required for the body to work well. How do you detect what's the best ways of testing the thyroid? Well, first, or detecting issues with the thyroid. First of all, symptoms. There's a long list of symptoms. I spoke about some of them earlier. Things like, of course, as I said, inability to lose weight, cold hands and feet, dry skin, lethargy, lack of energy, low moods, all of those things. There's a long list. You can go through those, and if you're ticking a few of them, then you want to be questioning whether there's an issue, perhaps not at a glandular level, but certainly cellular level thyroid. Secondly, you can take your basal temperature. There's instructions if you just look it up online. You need to do it first thing in the morning. You need an old-fashioned thermometer, preferably, that goes under the tongue. You can't get ones with mercury in anymore for obvious reasons, but you can get similar ones. And doing that on consecutive mornings, preferably if you're still having a cycle in the first half of your cycle, because the luteal phase, you do tend to have higher temperature, and then you map it and see whether you've got raised lowered temperature. If it's lower than it should be, then there is it's an indicator for thyroid issues. Bloods, having a blood panel, if you want to know about certain things, like, you know, TSH is one marker, but it's not actually a thyroid hormone marker. You want to be looking at all the markers for the thyroid: T4, T3, free T4, free T3, antibodies, reverse T3, ratios, and so on. So, you know, I often run a full thyroid panel with clients who I think have got, you know, severe thyroid things going on, or I'm suspicious that there's a problem with the thyroid and I want to see more. But the mineral test also tells us so much about the thyroid, and it tells us not about production, because we can't measure anything about the thyroid gland production, but what it does tell us is whether we're able to actually use thyroid hormone. Can we access it? If we are producing enough, can we get it into the cells? So the two tests that I use, minerals with everybody, and then if somebody's got suspected, you know, underactive thyroid, I may also run a full blood panel as well to back up and to fill in the gaps as to what might be going on. So yeah, that is the thyroid. I did have, now let me see if I can share it. I was going to just quickly talk you through. Let me see if I can find it. No, unfortunately I can't. I was going to share a test result, but I can't bring it up to share it. So if you've got questions about your thyroid, if you think that you may be struggling with issues with your thyroid, if you are ready to look at your own thyroid health, as I said, the best place to start is with mineral testing, especially if you've been to the GP, you've had your thyroid tested as part of a well woman check or whatever, and you've been told that your thyroid is fine, but you feel like it's not. The best place to start is with mineral testing. I ran a masterclass last night where I talked about the thyroid in detail. I talked about the 4 pillars of menopause health, and the thyroid falls into one of those pillars. And I went into a lot of detail about mineral testing, what it does, etc. I also explained that I am running a short-term bonus for both of my programs at the moment, the Revitalize Method and Menopause Mineral Magic. If you are interested in watching the masterclass and finding out about those bonuses, the Mineral Magic bonus actually ends on Sunday at midnight, and the Revitalize Method one ends next Thursday, because it requires an exploratory call. So I want to give people time to have that. But the next step is to watch the masterclass. So if you missed it and you didn't get your name on the list, you won't have been offered the replay, but you can still ask for it. It's available until this Sunday at midnight. So if you would like to watch it, then just drop me a message. You can either comment on this post if you're watching it in my Facebook group, or if you have clicked on a link from an email to watch this, you can just email me back or message me on Facebook Messenger or Instagram, and we'll share with you the link to watch the masterclass. It is the best place to start if you want a different approach to your symptoms. It's not just for thyroid, for menopause symptoms in general. If you feel like your body's slowing down, you're struggling with things like fatigue, weight gain, belly fat, low moods, loss of motivation, sleep problems, brain fog, etc., then it's a really brilliant place to start, because you will learn so much. I get great feedback. I have messages after last night's class and this morning saying, thank you so much. I learned so much from it. So let me know if you would like to get the link. And as I said, it's available until Sunday midnight. And Mineral Magic, which is my mineral testing package, which comes with full analysis, etc., finishes with bonuses on Sunday night, and it's really worth getting those bonuses. I'm giving away my 7-day reset, which I haven't actually run for a few years. Very, very popular. It's like a body cleanse, a digestive system and liver cleanse. It's worth £79, and you can get that for free. And I'm giving extra support in the package as well. So yeah, just let me know. All right, if you've got any questions about the thyroid, just pop them in the comments or feel free to message me, and I will do my best to answer them for you. All right, have a great day. Take care. Bye for now.